Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Ted Stefanak, Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Matt DiMarzio with sports, and Maddie Shipka with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. Burlington Parks and Recreation Maintenance and divisions within the Department of Public Works will soon have a new home. Last Wednesday night, town meeting voted to approve the use of $16.5 million for the design of new facilities and the construction of a new building. This fund appropriation is the first of a two-part project to completely overhaul the facilities used by Recreation Maintenance, the Highway and Water and Sewer divisions of the DPW. In short, the first phase will use the $16.5 million to design a DPW facility, including space for recreational maintenance facilities on the current site of the highway facility and the site known as the Clark and Reed site, and to build a 30,000 square foot facility on the Clark and Reed site. The second phase, which will be presented to town meeting in an upcoming year, is estimated to cost $15.5 million and will include the demolition of the current highway barn facility at the construction of a 36,000 square foot facility on that site that will house highway and the water sewer divisions. The reason for the new construction is the current facilities are really old, falling apart, and don't meet the current needs of the town. The current facilities were constructed in the early 1960s, and Town Administrator John Petrin said have not kept up with the growing needs of the town. Petrin pointed to a cramped workspace, a lack of proper facilities for employees, structural issues with the buildings, and the fact that due to space limitations, expensive equipment is often stored outside in the elements. One member said he thought the project was needed, but by agreeing to appropriate the money up front before the buildings were designed, the town was giving a construction company a blank check. Petrin said that the project will have a full design committee, much like the Fire 2 station project currently underway, and that this process is standard for the town. In the end, the first phase of the project was approved with a 63-19 vote, which was sufficient to pass the two-thirds majority needed for it to pass because it would require a bonding issue. All bonding issues require a two-thirds vote. Last week, town meeting approved the use of $2,509,000 for 21 capital budget items for the FY19 budget season. The capital items are for the Building Department, Department of Public Works, the Fire Department, the Police Department, Parks and Recreation Department, and the School Department. They include new vehicles and equipment, fitness equipment, school building safety, and school building maintenance and repair, among other categories of expenses. A couple of big-ticket items included $146,000 for the second phase of the Police Department's firing range, $140,000 to completely repave the tennis courts and skate park at Simons Park, $362,000 to replace the fire alarms at Francis Wyman Elementary School, $136,000 to replace that school's bathroom, and $170,000 to replace part of its air conditioning. Recently, the Burlington Police Department held a program with the aim of removing unwanted firearms from the homes of Burlington residents. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to check it out and has this report.
Last weekend, the Burlington Police Department put out a call to all residents letting them know that if anyone had any unwanted firearms, they could bring them to the station for safe and proper disposal.
A community gun buyback event. It gives people an opportunity to bring in any unwanted guns they might have at home and bring them into the police department to be properly destroyed. They're brought to the state police, who will destroy them for us.
This is not the first time the department has held a gun buyback program in the last few years, and each time they have collected a number of unwanted firearms.
We seem to have a good turnout each time we've done it. This is the third time we've done it in the last 6 years. This year seems to be a little better than last time we did it.
For each firearm brought into the department during the program, the resident received a $25 gift card to Wegmans, one of the partners in the program. It is all in the name of helping create a safer environment in the town of Burlington, with the notion that the fewer unwanted guns there are out there, the less chance they will fall into the wrong hands.
Well, the reason the gun buyback program, which we do in coordination with the Middlesex Sheriff and the Interfaith Clergy Group in town, is to get unwanted guns that are in homes out of those homes. For instance, oftentimes it's elderly people where maybe their spouse used to be a hunter and he had a shotgun in the house. They don't know what to do with it. It's been sitting in the closet for, several years. And our fear is if that house got broken into, then that weapon could end up in the wrong hands. So it's an opportunity, and I think people don't think of it all the time, but when they see it, it's an opportunity to get rid of guns that are basically sitting in the corner of a closet and haven't been touched in years. And that's what we find with the majority that get turned in.
And though all firearms should be locked away, there is always the chance of young children inadvertently getting their hands on them, which can lead to tragedy.
By law, you're required to have them secured, and we hope that they all are, even the ones getting turned in. But yeah, the less ones sitting in the corner of a house or in a closet or where people have access to, the better, and that's the whole goal.
Finally, during the gun buyback program, police made themselves available to go pick up any unwanted firearms if the owner was unable to leave the house or uncomfortable transporting the gun on their own. This service is not limited to the one-day buyback program.
No, we're always available to take any unwanted firearms that people may have at home.
At the Burlington Police Department, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
After business hours on Sunday, the Burlington Mall was full of law enforcement officials preparing for a scenario they hope will never become a reality. Chief Michael Kent said that several police departments participated in an active shooter response training at the Burlington Mall this weekend. Agencies included in the training were the Burlington Police Department, Billerica Police, Woburn Police, Lexington Police, and the Mass Police State Police. Chief Kent said the department regularly participates in training exercises like this to ensure that all stakeholders are prepared to communicate and coordinate an effective emergency response. He added he is grateful for the close partnership they share with neighboring law enforcement agencies and with the Burlington Mall staff, which are vital to keeping the community safe. The Burlington Public Library had Julie Pelletier-Rutkowski, owner and principal consultant for Feng Shui Services of New England, come by to show residents of Burlington a new way of cleaning their households. BNews reporter Robert Parris was there and has this report.
Are there any items in your household that are too hard to get rid of? There are many solutions to this, and one of them is the Feng Shui method. Last week, the Burlington Public Library held a special presentation called Spring Cleaning, the Feng Shui Approach.
So my presentation night was called Spring Cleaning, the Feng Shui Approach, and what I talked about was how to use Feng Shui and the energy in your home to help you decide what's important for you to keep, what's important to relinquish in some way, and that everything around you that you put in your home should be something that you love, and that all your belongings should be things that enrich you in some way.
Julie did not start off her career as a Feng Shui consultant.
I was a school nurse, and we had a professional day, and they had all the children were home, but the presenter didn't show up, so said they canceled. So they said, "Oh my goodness, what are we going to do?" So they had some of the faculty and the staff talk about what it is that they did in their spare time. And one woman got up and talked about how she was learning and practicing Feng Shui and gave a little handout for us. And we used that in the nurse's office. And I got really fascinated and started to, read more about it and Feng Shui in my home, and then decided to go for a full professional certification, which I did in Connecticut at the New England School of Feng Shui.
Don't worry, you're not the only one with a messy house.
I love watching people's faces, the aha moments, and I see throughout the presentation whenever somebody hears something that I am saying or describing, and then I see their face just go, "Oh, right, that's what's going on in my life, or that's what's going on in my home," and just the positive feedback and sharing what I know about Feng Shui.
Remember, every house has a story.
What I want them to be able to do tonight is to go home and look at what's the story their home is telling them. So hopefully they're looking at all the stuff, clutter, whatever word you want to use around them, and saying, do I really need that? What does my home say? Does my home say that I am a person that has too many things around me? But, when you remove all of this clutter, it really opens the door for lots of other opportunities in your life. And that is the key to all of this, to have a balanced and harmonious life. And you do that by looking at what is around you that's supporting you, including all of your things, your stuff.
From the Burlington Public Library, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Town meeting voted to approve funds for the chance the Board of Selectmen will seek outside candidates to fill the town administrator position. As reported on B News, current town administrator John Petrin announced that he will retire in 2019. The exact date has not been set, but under his contract he can retire as early as February, though he has stated he is willing to stay on longer to help the town with the search for a replacement and to be here for budget season and the transition if necessary. In March, the Board of Selectmen voted to begin the search internally. However, if that process doesn't produce the right candidate, they will need to look for outside talent. If they take that course, Petrin strongly advised the board to hire a consultant as the hiring process is rigorous. In response, the board put up a warrant article asking for $20,000 to cover those costs in the event they are needed. The money for that consultant was the subject of questions at Wednesday's town meeting session. One member asked why the search would cost that much. Petrin said there are basically 5 search firms that do the work of finding, vetting, and recommending candidates for town administrator and town manager positions, and the standard cost for their services is between $12,000 and $15,000. He said there were also costs for advertisements in association group publications and travel expenses for finalists. He added that at this time, a consultant firm is more important than usual due to the relatively high number of openings in the state. He also explained that because potential candidates don't want to throw their hats in the ring unless they are reasonably sure they have a chance of getting the job, due to the fact that it is a public process, a consultant works as an intermediary for the town early in the process. Finally, he said that $20,000 is a maximum amount the board is allowed to spend on the process. If they end up spending less, the leftover will be put into free cash. Flexion Therapeutics, a biopharmaceutical company focused on advancing innovative medicines for the treatment of patients with musculoskeletal conditions, went down to the town common to give back to the Burlington community. BNews reporter Robert Paris has this look.
It's not every day you see a company that works with advanced medicine help out around the town common. Last week, Flexion Therapeutics took time out of their day to come down and help give back to the community.
Flexion Therapeutics is a biopharmaceutical company. We just launched our first product to treat osteoarthritis knee pain. We're a company that's grown from 2 people 10 years ago to almost 300 people today. We're located in Burlington at 10 Mall Road. We've thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to set down roots here and continue to grow here.
Flexion is excited to be part of the Burlington business community.
So today is really an opportunity for Flexion to give back to the local Burlington community. It's a great culture at Flexion, and this is a way to kind of represent who we are in the Burlington community.
Finally, everyone should give back to their community.
For the people of Flexion, it's an opportunity to demonstrate our values as a company and our commitment to people we work with and around. And I hope that the community of Burlington will see Flexion as a good neighbor and partner in the effort.
Really, that Flexion is a wonderful place to work. I think everyone that works for Flexion already feels it, especially the support of a CEO that really sees the importance of giving back to the community. And hopefully everyone else will see that Flexion is just an awesome place to be. I'm very happy to be there.
From the town common, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Weekly.
My apologies to such a fine company for mispronouncing their name. It's Flexion Therapeutics. Burlington Public Schools leader is now the head of a statewide association focused on education leadership. The Mass School Superintendents Association chose our own Burlington Public School Superintendent, Eric Conti, as its president for the 2018-19 school year, a release from the organization announced. Dr. Conti, who has served as superintendent in Burlington since 2008, said he wants to focus on ensuring students have the skills they need to compete and thrive in the modern world. This includes focusing on updating the state's curricular pathways from elementary school through high school to include expanded opportunities for computer science learning. Dr. Conti said he also wants to focus on equitable funding statewide for schools so that no school system is underfunded. Finally, Conti said it is especially important to work towards stability in superintendents' offices statewide, as it is critical to teaching and learning for superintendents to have the time to implement a mission and a vision for teaching and learning. He said he wants to work closely with the Mass Association of School Committees to clearly communicate that a revolving superintendency is in no community's best interests. It's one hot one out there today. To see what's in store for the week, or the week ahead, we go now to BNEWS meteorologist Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Maddie Shipka to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and this is going to be including that all-important Memorial Day weekend forecast as well. Now, starting out our period on Friday, look at this. We are going to see really, really warm temperatures. Going to really have a feel of summer going out there when you step out your door in the Burlington area on Friday. Temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90. And if you're going out at night at all, or going out and you're going to still be out early in the early morning hours of Saturday, have some fairly nice conditions too. Temperatures only getting down to the low 60s. And of course, this is much higher than what our average highs at this time of the year should be, and that's a nice thing. We've had quite a cool spring, and we're going to be really getting that nice summer weather. Now, as we head towards the end of the period, look at this, May 31st. That is actually the last day of meteorological spring, so summer is right around the corner. And of course, our average highs at that time of the year getting into the very last days in May in the mid-70s, and that's pretty much what we're going to be seeing as we get towards the end of our period. And of course, you can notice how long the days are now, and we're actually almost to the end of the days getting longer. But if you're out there, you have beautiful sunshine from early in the morning till late into the evening. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. And this is kind of a map that looks very familiar to you. The past couple of weeks, we've really seen this kind of stationary front that's been draped over the Burlington area and over the rest of southern New England. Now, as we start out our period Friday and Saturday, this front's going to be lifting a little bit to our north. So we're going to be seeing those rather hot and humid conditions on Friday and Saturday. However, though, as we get into the latter portion of Memorial Day weekend, on Sunday and Monday, and Sunday especially, we're going to see this front push to our south and west, going down towards into Connecticut and towards New York City. Now, what does that mean for us here in the Burlington area? Well, unfortunately, if you have any plans for Sunday and Monday, it's going to be pretty cloudy and very cool. We may not see temperatures get out of the 50s on Sunday and just barely over 60 on Monday. So if you have any plans, hopefully you have them set up for Saturday, as that looks like that's going to be the real pick of the Memorial Day weekend. But thereon after, as we get on out into the Tuesday time frame and into the rest of the week, we're going to see this front finally get on its way out of here. We're going to see this cold front start to approach us from the west. And that's going to actually bring in some actually very nice weather as we head in towards the end of the period. Temperatures in the low and mid 70s. So some beautiful weather as we get towards the middle of next week, that's for certain. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you those all-important temperatures and weather coming up for the next 7 days. And as I said here, Friday and Saturday, we're going to see temperatures again in the mid to upper 80s, maybe touching 90 on Friday. Now, here on Saturday, we're going to get most of the day squeezed in. Temperatures, again, are going to be fairly warm and very humid Saturday. But if you have anything planned for your weekend getting into the latter portions of Saturday, say maybe after 6 or 7 o'clock at night, we are going to see that chance of some showers and thunderstorms moving into the area. And that's going to set the stage. Now, when we originally put this forecast together, it looked like it was going to be fairly mild on Sunday. However, looking at the latest model projections, this 70 would be definitely a best case scenario for us on Sunday, unfortunately. I don't think temperatures in our area here around Burlington are going to get much above maybe 58 or 59 degrees. If you're heading down maybe towards Rhode Island or heading down towards Connecticut, you might see that 70-degree weather. And again, on Monday, we're going to see another chance of showers and maybe some scattered thunderstorms. And again, cool temperatures. Temperatures only in the 60s. Again, this 68, pretty generous for a high on Monday. Probably not getting really any higher than maybe 61 or 62. But of course, just in time for you all to go back to work again on Tuesday and Wednesday and getting towards the end of the period, temperatures again are going to bump up into the 70s. Now on Wednesday, we might have a little bit of a hiccup. We might see a little bit of a front come through and maybe drop our temperatures a little bit. But by the time we get to Thursday, heading towards the end of next week, look at this. Temperatures again way up into the upper 70s. So folks, get out there, have a great week, and enjoy your Memorial Day.
support the graduating class of 2018. From May 23rd through June 3rd, the Burlington Post-Grad Party Committee will be having a fundraiser for the class of 2018's all-night grad party. The Bedford Farms Ice Cream Parlor will be offering red and white jimmies as well as chocolate jimmies. The post-graduation party is a fun, safe place for the seniors to celebrate on the night of graduation. Each year, the Burlington community, businesses, and individuals work together to ensure a successful event. The funds will help support the class's all-night grad party. Bedford Farms is located at 3rd Ave. You're invited to BCAT's biggest night of the year. On Friday, June 1st at 5:30 p.m., Burlington Cable Access Television will be having their annual meeting and appreciation night at the Heritage Park Baptist Church on 129 Lexington Street. The night will consist of an award ceremony, a meet and greet with the staff and board of directors, and some complimentary food from local businesses. Everyone is welcome to the event. The event is also free. For more information, please visit www.bcattv.org or call 781-273-5922. Keep on pedaling. On Saturday, June 9th at 10 a.m., the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having an event called Mountain Biking at the Landlocked Forest. Come and get some exercise while enjoying the beautiful scenery of the landlocked forest. The event will begin at the Easterbrook School in Lexington at 177 Grove Street. There will also be a post-barbecue at noon. Everyone is welcome. Pre-registration is required. For more information and to register, visit burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
The regular sports season is wrapping up and all eyes are on the playoffs. For the latest Red Devils action, we go now to BNews reporter Matt DiMarzio for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here for your weekly sports report. It's just about time for the state playoffs to begin, and Burlington High will have plenty of representation at both the team tournaments and the track and field state championships. This Saturday morning at North Reading High, the BHS track and field teams will compete in the Division III state finals. The Red Devils will have plenty of competitors in action. Don't be surprised to see Coach Matt Carr and his boys team among the tops when the results are announced at the end of the day. As for team action, the Red Devils will have 4 teams in pursuit of state championships. On the girls' side, the tennis team and softball team are both hoping to make team tournament runs after winning Middlesex League Freedom Division titles. The softball team still has 1 game left on its schedule before both teams are likely to begin playoff action next week. The girls' tennis team has had a particularly good run, ending the regular season with a 15-2 record. BNews' own Tad Stefanak went to meet with the team and has this report. Let's take a look.
Spring sports season is in full swing at Burlington High School, marked by traditional baseball, track, and lacrosse. But one of the hottest Red Devil squads is girls tennis.
1, 2, 3, Lady Devils!
Slipping out from under the radar, these Lady Devils have served, swung, and hit their way to a 15-2 record.
We've had a great season. We graduated 4 starters last year. So going in, we weren't, and last year it was the most depth I've ever had on a team. 14 kids that could have played varsity last year. So I knew kids were going to step up. I just didn't know how well they were going to step up.
I think the whole team has just been doing really good, and we have a lot of talent. So it's not like there's just like 7 good players. I think the whole team is very good.
We did graduate a bunch of seniors, but we got a few good freshmen, so we have been doing well this year.
They're amazing. I mean, we got so many new people playing varsity matches, and I think that's a great experience.
I think one thing that's very exciting is our JV is very passionate about the team this year, and they're very into it. And so this year we're going to be graduating a lot of seniors, so I think that's good going into the next year to have a JV team that's so passionate about tennis.
Aside from a deep bench, this team's hallmark is its sense of humor.
I guess we make a lot of jokes.
Don't hit me, Gilly.
Yeah, I think we're probably the one tennis team that just throws out a bunch of jokes in matches.
Sorry, what was the question?
And just
we're fun.
Yeah, we're fun.
It's been a really fun year.
And as for the team's upcoming tournament play,
We've been pretty good in our league, so a lot of the bigger schools we do have a challenge with, so those have been our better matches this year.
We'll get at least 1 home match, maybe 2. Hopefully avoid Winchester and Concord Carlisle as long as possible.
In the past, those are the two teams we've lost to in playoffs, and hopefully this year we beat Lexington, which was a big match for us this year, so hopefully we can do pretty well against them too.
They're always the teams to beat at the end. They're usually the state title winner is one of those two teams every year.
I think we have a pretty good chance. We're a really strong team, and we want to win, so.
We have a great time. We have fun. We're competitive every year.
I just think they're all really great people, and they're really great teammates.
We give it our all, and we leave it on the court.
I think the team's been pretty good this year, and I'm really happy I got to be a part of it and be a captain of this team.
It's just a great group of kids, and so I have a blast coaching them.
From Rayanis Park, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Tad. The boys will have the baseball team and the lacrosse team in action. Both squads worked hard to qualify for the tournament and could certainly surprise some teams. Let it be noted that the boys' tennis team missed the playoffs for the first time in what seems like about 20 years. That's because it actually might be about 20 years since the Red Devils and coach Rob Newton haven't been a playoff team. While disappointing to miss the postseason, here's a tip of the cap to one of the most impressive tennis runs in state history, engineered by Coach Newton and his team. That's all for your Weekly Sports Report. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week we have a photo that makes a popular Burlington location look magical. It was sent in by Katie Toro and shows a beautiful sunset captured over the baseball softball fields at Simons Park. The colorful sky combined with the field lights creates quite a unique view. Thanks for the photo, Katie. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share with us in the community, email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's it from the newsroom here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, Peter Brown, Matt DiMarzio, and Maddie Shipka. We're going to leave you with a special montage video this week. Last week, as you know, was the BHS Junior Senior Prom, and as they do every year, students gathered on the Common in all of their finery to take photos. We were there, and we have this look at the action. We'll see you next week here at BNEWS Weekly. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.